Alright, SciTech. Today we're going to keep talking about plot components, and we're also going to talk about tone. So in front of you, you should have a copy of Pandora's Box, and you should have your plot diagram from yesterday. I want you to pick your pen up, and I want you to write on your plot diagram what you see appear on your computer screen. So yesterday we talked about the exposition, which is over here, the rising action over here. Now we're going to take this note, this right here. That's the climax. That's the turning point of the story. Please write that on your plot diagram. This line here, this is the falling action. Please write that on your plot diagram. And finally, this is the resolution. That's where the conflict of the story is solved. Now, I want you to put your plot diagram to the side. I want you to open your Cornell notebook. I want you to take these notes. On the left side of the page, exactly as I did, I want you to write climax, falling action, and resolution, exactly as I did. On the right side of the page, I want you to write that the climax is the turning point in the action of the story. I want you to write that the falling action are the events immediately after the climax, as the protagonist, that's the main character, tries to solve the conflict. And the last note that I want you to take is the resolution. That's the point of the story where the conflict is solved or resolved. Take a moment to write those notes down. Now, I want you to close your Cornell notebook. I want you to put it to the side. I want you to pick your pen up, and I want you to put it on the first word of the next paragraph that we haven't read yet in Pandora's Box. Your pen should be on the word she, where it says she took the key. Now I need you to read along with me. She took the key, slid it into the lock, and turned it. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and slowly lifted the lid of the box. She opened her eyes and looked into the box, expecting to see fine silks, gowns, or gold bracelets and necklaces, or even piles of gold coins. But there was no gleam of gold or treasure. There were no shining bracelets and not one beautiful dress. The look of excitement on her face quickly turned to one of disappointment and then horror. For Zeus had packed the box full of all the terrible evils he could think of. Out of the box poured disease and poverty. Out came misery, out came death, out came sadness, all shaped like tiny, buzzing moths. So you'll notice I have a quote here. Out of the box poured disease and poverty, out came misery, out came death, out came sadness, all shaped like tiny, buzzing moths. So this is the point of the story where Pandora finally opens the box. This is what the rising action was building towards. This is where the story changes. So this has to be the climax. This is the change in the action of the story. Pandora's been thinking about opening the box. The suspense has been building. The tension has been building. Now she finally opens the box. Everything changes. Great. Let's read the next paragraph. I need you to pick your pen up again. I need you to put on the word the, where it says the creatures. The creatures stung Pandora over and over again, and she slammed the lid shut. Epimetheus ran into the room to see why she was crying in pain. Pandora could still hear a voice calling to her from the box, pleading with her to be let out. Epimetheus agreed that nothing inside the box could be worse than the horrors that had already been released, so they opened the lid once more. Put your pens down for 1 second, turn your attention to the screen. So, Pandora and Epimetheus next try to deal with the misery that was released from the box. When characters are dealing with the change caused by the climax, this is the falling action. So we had that climax. Pandora opens the box. Evil escapes. Everything's now changing. They're trying to deal with that change. This is the falling action. Okay, pick your pen up again. We are at the line where it says all that remained in the box was hope. Put your pen there. All that remained in the box was hope. It fluttered from the box like a beautiful dragonfly. Please circle beautiful for me. Touching the wounds created by the evil creatures and healing them. Please circle healing for me. Even though Pandora had released pain and suffering upon the world, she had also allowed hope to follow them. Put your pens down, stop reading, look at the screen for me. At the end of the story, hope is released into the world. This is the point of the story where the conflict is solved. Thus, this has to be, the answer is the resolution. So, Pandora released all that evil into the world. She tried to deal with it. She didn't know what to do. Then she releases hope into the world. Now the conflict is solved. Now we have a resolution to this story. Hope is always going to follow misery in the world. Okay. Now, I want to talk about tone with you. Yesterday we talked about mood. Mood is how you feel when you read a story. Tone is different. Tone is how the author or the narrator feels about the subject. You figure out tone the same way, though. You figure out tone by looking at the word choice as well as what the author says about the story. So let's take a look at the resolution of this story. So again, you'll see that I highlighted some words and phrases in purple. These are also some things that I told you to circle. We've already circled beautiful. We circled healing them. I want you to pick your pen up. I want you to go back to your copy of Pandora's Box, and I want you to underline this part where it says allowed hope to follow them. Please take a moment to do that. It's the last line. Great job. Now, all of these tell me that a being called Hope, that is beautiful and has healing powers, is released from the box. And hope is always going to follow misery in the world. So if hope is something really great, hope is something beautiful, and hope is always there for us, no matter what miseries there are, then what might the tone of this story be? Hopeful. Really, really great job.